kind of hate fall. In this part of the world, fall is right in between houseboat season and snowmobile season, and it always feels so long. It always gets dark really early. It's pretty cold, except you don't get any of the benefits of snow, like snowmobile season. Or ice fishing or ice rinks outside. Yeah, it's not my favorite. Seatbelt on?
Yep.
It's raining and I was late for class, so I figured I would drive my brother to school. Fall is also pretty for the first 2 weeks, and then it sort of dies off when all the leaves start to fall and now the trees have no color at all. Then it's just dark at 5, and then when the snow first comes, it usually melts because it's not cold enough, so you get this slush all the time, and it's just awful. I wish we could go straight from summer to winter. Snow I don't mind. Most people don't like snow, but I have a snowmobile, and that makes the winter much more enjoyable. See ya. Bye. School is pretty much the same as before, as normal school, except now I have to wear masks all the time and they only have 2 classes a day.
The movie This Is the End. Seth Rogen. I don't know.
A little over a year ago, I went through a pretty big learning process buying a Canadian Tire bike, and it was complete crap. I made a video about it, and it's my most watched video on the channel so far. It's got 20,000 views. That's pretty impressive. I definitely did not expect that much attention on the video. I realized that pretty much all of Canadian Tire's bikes are really bad, and so I bought what I thought was a good bike at my local bike shop. That was about $1,300 with tax. It's a Specialized Rockhopper Comp 29er. I've had that bike for over a year now, and I've put quite a few kilometers on it, so I feel like I'm at the point where I can comfortably know pretty much everything there is to know about the bike, and I can review it. I'm gonna tell you what I learned about owning and riding the bike every single day for multiple months. So some days I would probably do like 15 kilometers, some days more, some days less. I did use it a lot though, so it did get some wear. Pros, I would say, are it's fast, it's a hardtail, it's pretty light. I mean, it's not carbon fiber light or anything, but it's reasonable. It definitely looks good. And I think a hardtail teaches me to ride better. Because I started with a hardtail, I've become a better rider quicker than if I started with full suspension. So the cons. Well, I've had to replace lots of parts, and the parts are pretty expensive, at least at my bike shop. I've replaced the rear cassette, the chain, I added a dropper post, I replaced the tires, and I replaced both sets of brakes, front and rear. The front brake, that was kind of a weird thing, user error, but the rear brake, well, that was also user error. I feel like this bike was more of a learning process. It was a learning process more than it was a mountain bike that I could enjoy riding. I didn't have to replace the tires, but after using them on the road every day, they did get worn down a little and I wanted more grip. So I upgraded the tires to Maxxis DHR2 in the back and a Maxxis High Roller 2 in the front. And after I replaced the tires, it made a world of difference. If you are looking to upgrade the capability of your mountain bike, I would definitely recommend looking into some new tires. Upgrading those tires will make a huge difference. So forgetting about the brakes, which were my fault basically, after 1 year of use, I replaced the chain, the cassette, and the tires. That all cost, altogether, around $350 to $400 with tax. Since I've gotten my G2, I've used the bike less, that's for sure. And my tire wear has gone down a lot because I don't ride on the road as much as I used to because I don't need to. I just drive. So that's saving me some money. And I got to enjoy the bike more rather than just using it as transportation. I think the fog is starting to slowly lift. So now I'm going to talk about hardtail versus full suspension. Some people say that you can't do certain types of riding on a hardtail, and I think that's not entirely true. You can do anything you can do on a full suspension on a hardtail. It's more a matter of how enjoyable that ride is going to be. For example, if you were riding on super rough terrain with lots of rocks and really rooty, and you had a full suspension, you wouldn't really have to choose your lines. You would just kind of ride over everything and not worry about it. However, on a hardtail, you have to pick your lines a lot more. Riding a full suspension is more chill, it's more comfy, but you get lazy after riding a full suspension for a while because you aren't picking your lines and you're just going over everything because you can. Riding on a hardtail on rough terrain requires a lot of focus. A full suspension, not nearly as much. That being said, I think you'll have a lot more fun on a full suspension. A hardtail excels at being fun in certain areas, but a full suspension will be fun for most trails. Now, if I could only have one and it wasn't a matter of money, because full suspensions usually cost $1,000 or $1,500 more than a hardtail equivalent, I would choose a full suspension because of the reasons I just listed. It's more fun, it's more comfy, it's more chill. However, that being said, I think the experience I gained riding a hardtail first before riding a full suspension is invaluable. I would recommend it to everyone. You're looking for your first mountain bike, buy a hardtail. So what do I actually think about the Specialized Rockhopper Comp 29er? It's a great beginner bike. However, it doesn't come with some of the key features that I think every mountain bike should have for trail riding. A dropper post is essential. I put my own dropper post on. If you know you are gonna upgrade the tires and add a dropper post and do all these upgrades, you might as well just buy a more expensive bike right from the start. The comp version, which is the one I have, is one tier lower than the highest end version of the Rockhopper, and it comes with a 2x9. I don't really like the 2x9. I would prefer if they had a 1x10, which is what the higher up version has. I think it's like the Elites or something. The fork on the Rockhopper is really bad. It's a coil fork. It's like the Suntour XCM. It's got a lockout and preload control, and that's it. There's not much flexibility. If you are a heavier rider or a lighter rider, you have to change the entire spring to adjust it for you. Whereas with an air fork, you just add some more PSI. I would say buy a bike that is a little bit better than what I bought. That way you don't have to upgrade it. It's already got everything you need and you're good right off the bat. It's really, really durable. Funny story, first day I bought it, brought it to some trails, went on these whoops, and I was going too fast and it was on a little cliff, so I hit the front brake, not realizing how powerful the front brake is. And I smashed the front brake and I went over the handlebars, like off the cliff, and I like landed in a tree, sprawled out. It didn't break. Nothing has broken on it from like crashes. I've broken stuff from user error, like mechanically, but nothing has broken from crashes. And that's something to say about this bike, because a Canadian Tire bike would not last nearly that long riding as hard as I have ridden this bike. So that's something to say about the Specialized Rockhopper. It's durable. It's definitely durable. So that comes down to the $1 million question, would I buy it again? Well, yes, but only if I didn't have the knowledge from the past year of riding the bike. I think you learn a lot and that is very valuable, and I would recommend anyone to buy a hardtail. Maybe something a little bit better than what I got. That being said, I still think I bought a good bike and I still would use it a lot. I also bought a lot of upgrades, and the reason I'm telling you all this is so that you can buy a better bike that has the upgrades already, and you will be a step ahead of what I started at. So yes, I would buy it again, but only if I didn't have my previous knowledge. Am I gonna upgrade my bike? Probably not for the next few years. I have other things I wanna buy, like a truck and dirt bikes and stuff, and it's not on my priority list, but I would upgrade to something better like a full suspension. Not sure what yet, but we'll see.
You've been playing with it for the last 20 minutes.
You literally suck.
Why do we suck?
About your gift,
Why would you buy this? I just need
You
to
don't
buy
even know what it is.
Yeah, a puppet.
How'd you know?
Because I literally know how you can roll it off.
How's that popping?
Good. What is this?
It's a big poppet.
Thank you for the mouse pad.
You're pretty smart.
Like, that looks like space. Like, oh, Macy bought me a mouse pad, but it's you.
It's the same mouse pad that I have.
I know. That's what I want.
Whoa, pretty nice.
That's cool.
Ooh, nice.
It's bigger
It's a
you.
blanket.
Thank you.
You like it?
Yeah.
Cool.
Go put it in your room.
What do you think?
Pretty good.
Looks pretty good.
Now I'm gonna play a game. I have to play a game now. I just have to. That was fun.
You excited?
Yes.